Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and we're back on the Audi S5 this time, and this time I'm looking at retrofitting a reversing camera. This is going to be good, stay tuned. For more videos on my cars, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you like this particular video then please give me the thumbs up, all helps with YouTube stats. Let's get going. So here we are again, yet another cold winter's day in my garage here in the UK, but I'm struggling with the cold just to do these videos for you guys. As I said at the beginning, in this video I'm going to attempt to retrofit a reversing camera to my Audi S5. Now the parts you're going to need for this is obviously the actual reversing camera, which is this one here. So this is the type of reversing camera you need. This is specially made for an Audi. I think this will actually fit the A4 and the A5 and maybe a few other models, but it's got the switch in there which plugs in to there and will allow you to open the rear deck. It's also got the wiring in and obviously the built-in camera, and you get a wiring loom with it. That's power for the camera, so that should be everything you need. This one is an AliExpress special. If you have a look on AliExpress and search for A5 cameras, obviously mine's an S5 but it'd be the same camera, and you'll find there's quite a few out there you can buy. This one actually cost me £11 off AliExpress. You will also need some release pins to remove the audio system. I've also got a set of panel removal tools, all different ones because we're going to have to remove some panels to get the wiring from the back to the front of the car. And the main thing you're going to need to get this working is going to be a laptop running Windows and one of these. So this is an interface which goes in the OBD port, and it's specially made to work with the VCDS software. So this is the Hex V2. This is not cheap. This was about £300, but once you've got this, then you can use it to do anything with your car. So I can get access down into the depths of the ECUs and make changes with it. So worth every penny, I think. And of course I've got a Windows laptop here. Mine is running Windows 10 which works fine with VCDS. So what I'll show you now is where you can get the VCDS from and where you can get this from. So this is where you get the VCDS from. So this is Rostec, and here is the URL. I'll put that link down below in the description so you can get that. And if you just scroll down the page, you'll find there's a download link down here, and if you hit that download, that should pop up and allow you to download. But as you can see, I've already downloaded that already, so therefore I've got it already installed on this PC. This is a very good site, and it's well worth reading a lot of the information on here. It also gives you links where you can get the actual Hex V2, which is what I've got, and also there's a video there on installing VCDS, but I've got the link that is done here. So this is where I got mine from. So this was $299 in the UK. You'll need to find a link for US, but in the UK we can get that $299, and this one allows you to have 10 vehicles associated with the actual interface. It's limited on number of vehicles, that's the way they do it. So you can see here, this is the 10 VIN version. 10 VINs is going to be way enough for me really, because that means I can have 10 different cars before I exceed this. So that should be fine. So now when you've downloaded, then just double click the exe and install as you would a normal installation on Windows. And when that's completed, you will get this little icon here, so double click that. And there's VCDS running. So what you need to do, you'll need to go into the options here, and you'll need to set the COM port. So you plug in your Hex V2 when it's plugged into the car, so it's powered on, and then you can set all this up and test it, and it'll say it's found it. So that's that one. And also if you check on that Rostec site, it'll give you the detail of how to set this up so you can register it and then use all the features for 10 VINs. And once you plug it into the car, you can then register that car and that VIN, and then you can continue working on it. So now we've got that installed and it's all working because I've done it previously. Let's go to the car and let's plug it in and let's have a look at what we've got. So first of all, to plug it in, it's in the usual place, which is just underneath here, just near the footwell. And you plug it in, you'll see like that, it's just waiting to connect. So let's get the laptop and connect it up. So we are inside the card now, and I've got the other end of the XV2. So I'm going to plug this into the USB. So I'm going to plug this into the USB, and the laptop made a sound saying, yep, I've detected a device. So now we can go to options and make sure this is set to USB there, and we can hit test. And there we go, port status okay, interface found, blah blah blah, so that's all good. So mine is good. Now what we do need to do is make sure that we turn the ignition on, or in my case just press the button and make sure everything comes on. Right, door's open, that's right, let me just pull the door too. Right, and I'm just going to turn all the aircon off, turn everything off that I can. And the stereo is going to kick in. Let me just get ready to turn that off. So before you even start with this job, what you need to do is plug in the VCDS and put the car into reverse. And if you look on the screen that comes up, so the first thing before you even start this job is to make sure that you can actually program your car. Mine is the 3G MMI, so therefore if you go into reverse you get this screen up. So it shows you the normal graphic like that. What it doesn't have is an option down here to enable the camera at the back. So what you need to do is go onto VCDS, I'm going to show you in a minute, program it and make sure that option comes on there. Let's do that now. So in VCDS, we're going to go to select the module. And on my car, the module that we need to look at is Park Steer Assist, which is number 10. Let's go into that one. Now I've seen this on Central Electronics as well, so it can be different on different cars. So looking at the coding, long coding helper, and we've got this rear view camera installed here. So I'm going to enable that. And then we go back and then we hit the do it. Okay, coding has been accepted. So now if we go back to the screen, we can see that we've got the rear view option there now. And if I press the appropriate button on the control, I get that screen up. Now obviously in there will be, when I get the camera fitted, will be the actual picture, and there's the graphic on the side. So that's looking good for me, so that means that I can do this. So that's how you enable the reversing camera in the car. So now we can go about and do the physical install. So what I'm going to do is going to temporarily wire it into the multimedia system just to make sure that it does work, and we should see a picture up on the screen. So the next thing is to remove the multimedia system, and that's using these keys which I showed at the beginning. If you look very closely, you can see there's a little slot there and a little slot there which these keys go into. So they're going to go in that way. Push them in. That should enable you to just pull out the multimedia system like so. Simple. Now what I've also done, I've moved the gear lever back into drive to give me plenty of space. So what I'm now going to do, I'm going to put a piece of cloth down there so I can then turn the multimedia system downwards and protect it. Wow, it's tight. I'm also going to do is remove the keys now, so that I don't forget later on. Right, it's quite tight, cabling's quite tight on this. Right, that was pretty tight. The tightness seems to be coming from this one here, which is plugged into the front panel bottom bit there, and also from the fibre optic part. That's very, very tight, that one. There's not a lot of slack on that. So I've took the main plug off, so this is the plug we're looking at, and it's the back of this blue part is what we're going to be looking at putting the camera in. So it's a bit pretty fiddly to do, but it should be able to do it. I can take that blue one out to work on. They're kind of plugs within a plug. So there we go. Okay, so what I've done now, I've just pushed the wires in the back of the unit. I'll show you exactly where they go later on in the video, but I've just pushed them back into there. I'm using the cigarette lighter inside the center console, and I've just wired power to this camera, and yeah, just as I say, bodged it into the system. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it into reverse gear and see what happens. Yes, look at that, that's me. I'm on the camera. Oh, brilliant. So there you go. So that's the camera, so that's working. And sorry about the noise, but yeah, so that's working great. Okay, so let's disconnect all of this and then let's go wire it up correctly. So what I'm going to do, obviously going to start at the back here because we need to get this piece out. So to do that, I'm going to strip off all this back panel here so we can get access to it. And then we obviously need to run the wires down there and into the car, and then along the side of the car right to the front. So I'll probably time lapse a lot of this because it's just me taking panels off. Here we go. Well, that was an absolute pain in the backside, but basically if you get something like a hook tool and go into, I'll do this side, go into the corner where the join is and get behind the top panel and pull it down to break that join, and then do the same at that side. Don't forget to remove, there's 2 bolts inside these removable panels here that give you access to the back of the lights, and then it's a matter of just pulling it and it all comes off. And that's what the back looks like. So it's got quite a lot of clips all over the place which hold it in place, and 2 bolts as well. So there's only 2 bolts which are inside these rear light panels. Now we just need to loosen this side panel as well. It looks like the screw that held the other part on is a plastic bush that goes straight into the metal. So I'm going to try and just pop that out with one of these. I think this should easily come off then. There we go. And then that now comes off. So I now can get access right down to that point there where I can get my wiring in. So what I've also done under here is, this is the flexible grommet that allows the wiring to go from the tailgate back into the car. So I've pulled this off and we should be able to get my wire down there, and so can get it inside the car. So next what we now need to do is get to the back of the handle, which is there, and we need to get those 2 bolts and pull the plug out, and we should be able to remove the handle and put the new one in. So the handle appears to be well stuck on, so I think it's just been in position for a lot of years. So I'm just going to have to prise it off with these panel tools. Okay, so I managed to get the handle out. It's a bit of a pain getting it out. It's got 2 clips there which clip into back of a metal frame, and then it's got a clip on each side. As you can see, I've actually broke mine, but you'd need to push on each side to actually then extract it out, to actually push them clips in. I didn't know they were there because on my new one it doesn't have those clips, so I couldn't really compare it. It's got the back one, but it hasn't got the edge ones, so I didn't know they were there. But anyway, that shouldn't be a big issue. Hopefully I'm not using this again anyway, and when it goes, if I have to put it back in, then it will get pushed, and it's got a rubber seal here stopping any water getting in. So the same as the new one. So the new one's got a nice rubber seal around. Okay, so let's get the new one in place and let's start getting the wiring on. Well, this is a fiddly job, I must admit, but let me show you where I am and what I've got done at the moment with the wiring. So here's the camera wiring. So we've got the actual camera itself and then the power feed. So they're going to be pushed into there out the way and we'll put the panel back on. So the wires, I've run both the wires down here. I've run them down the side underneath here, right through, gone through that part there and come out underneath. So I can get into this little grommet, and then I've gone through this grommet and into the headliner of the car. So that's into the headliner there, and then I've carried on with the power down this side, because inside here there's the 12-volt socket. So I've got my power here, which I'm going to tap into the back of that 12-volt socket. And for the actual camera itself, I've got that now. This is the rear door, so I've got the wire here to the rear door, and now it'll just be a matter of following the headliner edge all the way through to the front, down the A-pillar, underneath and to the stereo. So that's my next job. So now we got the wire to this point by coming all the way down the A-pillar and down this bit of seal here and pushed it inside there, and I got it into there. Then what I then did, I'll take you into the footwell underneath here. I'll get a better picture there. So I then run the wire just under the front edge of this panel trim here, all the way into the corner. So I've got the wire into this corner here, as you can see. What I've then done, I've then got a bit of stiff electrical cable, and again, let me get the light for you. So looking in here, I've pushed that wire down into the far corner and it has popped out at this point here. So all I need now is to tape this on to there, pull that up, and I'll have the wire behind the stereo unit ready to connect up. Okay, so now we get down to the nitty gritty. So this is the plug off the back of the stereo, and we're looking at the blue part of it, and as we look in here we've got these connections here. So let me point with the wire. So what we're looking at is that one there and that one there. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one on the top and the bottom from this right hand edge. So we'll strip the wire, and as we know, we're not interested in the red because that was just a cable probably to get some power to the back, but we're going to get that anyway. So what we're looking at here is the black is going to go into that one there, and the green is going to go into that one there, obviously from the back. Now these are pins on the actual unit that push into those holes there. I haven't got the proper connectors, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip this back, push it in so that the wire really fills up that hole there, so when the pin goes in it touches the wire. That's how I tested it earlier and it worked fine, so that's the way I'm going to do it. So let's strip these back like so. Now I'm not going to wrap them too much because I want them to be kind of loose. Right, to make life easier, if you go to the back you can press the button in and remove the blue plug. I mean, don't you guys copy this. This is just my way of doing it, and it worked for me when I did the testing. To do this properly you'd need to get hold of some of the pins that go into this, but I ain't got any of those, so I'm just going to push this in The holes are pretty tight, so you know there's a 99% chance that the pin will touch the wire when it goes in, especially if you leave plenty of wiring, like plenty of wire exposed on these cables, which I am doing. Just getting them so it'll go in the holes nicely. So they're in now. So what I'm now going to do is, I'm going to tie wrap that wire onto there like so it doesn't move. So let me show you this on a close-up. So there we are, that is the back of my plug, and you know, you can see that the black and the green are both in position there. So we're going to plug that back into the main plug here, plug that back into the stereo, connect the fibre optic back up, then we'll go to the back and we'll just temporarily put power to the camera, and then just make sure it's all working before we actually put everything away for good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect the socket back up here. These are my wires there, and then I'm going to attach my 12 volt cigarette lighter plug onto the end of here, and then we'll test the camera. Okay, so we know this socket's dead when the power's off, so push that in there. Right, so that's it, ready for power when we turn the ignition on. So let's go test it. Okay, so here we go. Let's engage reverse gear. Nothing. No camera. Why no camera? Okay, so that didn't work. So number one is to check that we're getting 12 volts here. I'm hoping that it's just the plug is not pushed all the way in. Let's just see. Yeah, so we have got the voltage there. Now that's upsetting. So sorry about the noise. Hopefully you'll hear me, but I can't stop that from making noise. But look, I've just gone and pulled it out again, and I've just started jiggling these wires around here, and look, it comes on. So it is just a bad connection in here. So I'm just going to have a mess around with these wires just to make sure that they're actually working, and then we should have it there. So let me do that and press the button. Success! We have reversing camera. That's obviously my garage roof, so don't worry. But we have reversing camera. Fantastic. Right, we can put everything back together now and button it all up. So next job now is to reassemble all this back end. So I'll do that on time lapse. And the final job now is just to connect this power to the camera to the wiring of the 12 volt socket, and for that job I'm going to use a couple of these wire taps. So on this cable there's a white with a purple stripe and a brown. The white with the purple stripe is the 12 volt supply and the brown is the earth. So that's that done, so let's plug that back in and reinstall this unit. So the last test just to make sure it's fully working, so let me just show you what it looks like. Hopefully the sun's not in the way, but yeah, normal screen, pop it into reverse and it changes into the camera. So if we go backwards, yep, there we go, we've got little lines to watch out. And yep, beeper's going now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to check on that amber one there, just to see how close that is, just to make sure it's okay. So I'll put it into park. Let's go check what yellow looks like. Okay, so plenty of gap there, so that's the yellow warning. So let's go to the red warning. I hope I don't hit the fence. So going back nice and gently. Right, so we're on red warning there. So I've got that there, so let's go see what red warning. Of course your beepers are still working as well. Oh, I didn't realise it's actually full screen, look. So it actually goes right. I thought it was just like a square screen, but it's actually full screen, so that's good. And you got your, can you see that little graphic there? And it's got the reverse beepers there. So let's have a look. So this is red. So that's red, so there's plenty of room. So that should be fine. So yeah, well happy with that. Okay, so yeah, very happy with that. So again, you can go back to graphic if you want, if you prefer that, which I don't. So I'll go here, rear view, and I can see out the back, which is absolutely superb. So that's it yet again for another Audi mod that I've done, and yeah, it makes such a difference. That's fantastic having the reverse camera now. I was really annoyed that the car didn't have that. Now I'm still waiting for some parts for the RS5 body kit upgrade that I'm going to do, so that's coming up very, very soon. Hopefully I just need one more big part, which I'm hoping to get, and when that comes, then we can start that project, and we can do the front and rear bumper that I've got planned for this car. So once again, thanks for watching. If you do like this type of stuff, then please subscribe to my channel, and if you did like this particular video, then give me that thumbs up. Till the next time, stay safe.